A wonderful morning to you and welcome once again to Providence Television International Morning Drive. I hope you had quite a nice time up until now. For those of you who are just most probably getting out of bed, yes, it might surprise some people to hear that some people are just getting out of bed. Well, I wish you a wonderful day in all the activities that you've set out to do today. I wish you all the best. My name is Ogbebo Ikekwa, and this is the Providence Television Morning Drive. I'm not alone in the studio.
Edna Caesar Garrick is my name. Welcome on board.
As usual, we'll be starting off the morning drive with the newspaper review, and we'll be going straight down to the Nigerian Observer, where we have a screaming headline that says, Nigeria's compressed natural gas (CNG) sustainability hinges on gas availability infrastructure. This is coming from an expert. A writer to that effect says, calls for focus on renewable energy. Also coming from the expert. Still on the front page of the Nigerian Observer, Edo 2024 National Security Advisor says security agencies will counter attempts to disrupt poll. This is coming from Malam Nuhu Ribadu, the National Security Advisor, urges Edo electorate to vote confidently. Malam Nuhu Ribadu also says government is ready to protect voters' voices. Moving now to the Daily Trust. Senators' monthly pay hit 2 billion naira. Each senator gets 2.1 million naira per month as running cost. This is coming from Senator Kawu Sumaila. You get details of this on page 4 of the Daily Trust. And moving on to this day newspapers. Federal government approves implementation of zero duty VAT exemption on selected food items. The new policy takes effect today.
And still moving on the morning drive on the newspaper review, going to the Vanguard newspaper, which says hurdles ahead of compressed natural gas vehicle roll out. And still under the Vanguard newspaper, it says local mechanics technicians at sea with technology. Still moving on, users still unsure of safety, massive awareness training lacking. And still under the Vanguard newspaper, we have outrage as Senator Sumaila says he earned 21 million naira monthly. This is coming from the Senate. And away from Vanguard now to Punch newspaper saying food crisis. Military deploys troops in Northwest, North Central. Farmers Association Lord Tinubu say move will boost harvest, tackle food insecurity. And still on that Punch, we have deployment will grant farmers access to farm, ensure hitch-free planting season. Defense, this is coming from the defense headquarters. And still moving on the same Punch, it says 149 Nigerians repatriated from Niger. You get the details of these on page 27 of the Punch newspaper. And now to the Guardian, it says 39 dams moribund over poor maintenance, obsolete equipment. And still under there we have World Health Organization declares mpox outbreak a global emergency. You get the details of the story on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. And still under there we have we can no longer afford further hikes in interest rate, and this is coming from the manufacturers.
And on the Daily Times, front page of the Daily Times, national security, a top priority of my administration, says Tinubu. Tinubu restates federal government's commitment to invest substantially in military industrial complex. And with that, we come to the end of the newspaper review for this morning. Edna, as usual, you always have something to ask me for our papers.
Yes, let's look at this mpox. It's gradually spreading to other African countries. Yeah. What do you think they can do to curb this deadly disease?
Well, seriously, the health officials, they have a whole lot to play. It is not just about the medical doctors. Well, you have what you call health workers in general. They have a lot to play in the course of stopping the spread. And then there needs to be a whole lot of sensitization. You know, so many people, if you go out there, you tell them about Mpox, they are all like, no be our disease.
Yes.
You know, and that means that a whole lot of sensitization has to go on as regards the National Orientation Agency, and even verbally. Have you heard about the new ailment that is in town? You know, as in the Mpox stuff, and so there has to be a whole lot of sensitization. That's seriously what I think.
Okay, that means they have to go out to sensitize the people about the Mpox and all that. But what do you think? They are saying it's from animal to humans.
You see, if I remember some time ago, there was a time that there was also this transfer. You call it you call them zoonotic diseases that are transferred from animals to man. And I remember, I think it's the same Mpox thing where it went around that the killing and even consumption of what we know in our local parlance as bushmeat, that the consumption should be stopped. You see, based on that non-sensitization, you had individuals then who will come out to tell you that the black man doesn't die from such events. That by the time you've cooked it, by the time you've boiled it, that the disease dies. But it all boils down to serious.
But they also went ahead to tell us some of the symptoms, which are fever, skin to skin, through sex, and maybe breathing when we are close to the person that have it, through breathing and all that.
You know, the truth of the matter is that so many ailments, they come with this feverish tendency.
Yes.
And so it is always best when you start feeling feverish, not to always conclude that it is malaria fever. Go for, some people will tell you, how can I afford it? Stop self-medication. Go for medical. One way or the other, these things are not really expensive. It is in our mindset that you come out to say, even if you go to your local pharmacy, one way or the other, which is not what I'm really advocating, but then the medical services are actually getting quite improved. And so the issue of coming out to say, no, I am feverish, and then you take 1 or 2 tablets of paracetamol and just wish it away, and the thing keeps getting worse, is a problem. I always advise, go for medical attention.
Then what do you think about those people that loves going close to monkeys and all that? What do you think they should do now?
I think that will be a question that will be left for them. On this note, I'll say don't go away as the newspaper analysis continues in just a moment.